And we are live. No Chill Live, episode 133. We back.
Ooh, 133.
Yes. We have a common theme today, guys. What is beef?
Ha 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 ha.
Welcome back, everybody, to No Chill Live. We got Julian here. We got Bryan here. We got Troy. Your favorites are back.
We in the house. Make sure you follow, subscribe. Thank you for joining us on yet another Wednesday evening. If you're on the East Coast and all around the world, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you catch your live content, Spotify, Google Podcasts while it's still around, all that good stuff.
We are everywhere, international, doing everything, doing it all.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, World War III.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. It's looking bad out here. It's looking bad.
For real. But
scary time.
Super scary times, but, you know, it's Aquarius season. I had a really great weekend, though, man. How about you, man? How was your weekend, man? It was super cold the first few weeks of January. It's still cold, but not as bitter. So, you know, I'm in good spirits.
Dude, it's still cold. You see me, I feel like the last few pods, I just show up with my sweatsuit on. I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm not going to be able to step outside when it's under like 35 degrees without my long johns, my thermals. You know, I stay ready. But the weekend was nice. Celebrated yet another birthday.
Okay.
Taking us into Aquarius season. Shout out to Gemily for her birthday. But yeah, it was a pretty chill weekend overall.
Yeah, man. You know, I spent some time with the fam.
Mm-hmm.
Went down to South Jersey. You know, I was out in Brooklyn on Saturday.
Nice.
And, you know, we were doing some media stuff. You know, shout out to J-Do Magazine.
Big shout out. Thank you. It's going to be exciting, man. I had a good time.
Yeah.
What'd you think of, I guess, doing a photo shoot as a group and kind of, was this your first time doing a photo shoot?
Yeah, outside of like doing the glamour shots with my family on cruises. But yeah, you know, I don't think any of us are models, but you know, we had a great team around us and it felt good, you know.
For sure.
More collabs to come, guys. 2024, we're looking to collab. We're looking for a lot of interactive experiences. Mm-hmm. We're looking for people to call in. So, you know, if you hear any topic you want to chime in, you know, comment. You know, we'll be in the comments. You know, Troy's always holding the comments down. And also, you know, you can call in, DM us, you know, hit us up in the comments. Let us know if you want to call.
For sure.
You know, we want to hear from you guys. But yeah, this year, you know, it's great to kick it off with a nice collab. You know, be on the lookout, you know, sometime later this year for that. But yeah, you know, we're looking to collab and do a lot more with more people this year. So
absolutely. Looking to let's share some platforms.
Yes.
Pull each other up by our bootstraps, whatever the whites tell us to do. You know. Pause.
Relax. It is almost Black History Month.
It is.
Tomorrow.
It is. The last day of January before we get to Black History Month.
Y'all are lucky. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, we got to work together, guys, because the world is dividing, and I know I predicted in 2024 a civil war in the United States, and I'm not trying to, you know, make that into reality. It's just a feeling I get, but I don't know, man. I was thinking in recent events, do you think a civil war is more likely or a world war, man? I don't know.
I mean,
or both, man. I don't know.
You know, it's we started off earlier just saying scary times, scary hours. Yes. You know, I think it's much more likely that at least there's a war in the Middle East. I mean, there already is one, but I think it's about to be becoming even bigger. This Iran and Jordan and the United States and like it, and then you've got Israel and Palestine. It's just
spooky.
Why can these countries not? Well, why can the U.S. not leave this region alone?
Oil, power.
There's too much history, I guess. Oil, power, history, money. Like it's just.
I gotta ask a question, but where does the United States who do we leave alone? Like what? Like honestly, I feel like we have our hands in everything. You know.
I'm trying to think. We leave the whites alone.
No.
We're like, well, let's be friends with them. Australia, the UK, everybody else. I don't know.
Man,
Antarctica, the North Pole, Santa, they don't mess with Santa. Every year, Santa breaks into every single home around the world, and nobody does a thing.
Bro, the Republicans have been talking about the war on Christmas for like 20 years now, so Santa can get it too. Oh my God! But yeah, man, you spoke about Jordan, and some militants out. What are they back? What are they? Iranian backed militia. They dropped a drone attack. I didn't even know militias had drones. But this is 2024 warfare. And 3 U.S. troops were killed in the drone strike. The U.S. based in Jordan, Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, Kennedy Sanders, and Brianna Moffitt all died in the attack. And over a dozen people were injured in this big attack. So, rest in peace to those victims.
Yeah, R.I.P. Sad stuff.
Sad stuff, but I mean, this is has been a conflict ever since we were born. Really, with talking about the Gulf War in the '90s with George Bush, the first one. You talk about the war on terror.
The first one,
the first war and the first Bush. Bush 2 had to come back. He had to come back for a second.
And we just could not stay out the bushes.
Man, yeah, but Donald Trump wasted no time blaming this all on Biden, man. He's saying this only happened because Biden is weak, Yes, Trump said on his platform, Truth Social, he was like, I ask all Americans to join me in praying for those who have been wounded. Yet another horrific and tragic consequence of Joe Biden's weakness and surrender. So he wasted no time to be like, this is Biden's fault. It's all on him. He's a weak ass nigga.
We've seen this plenty of times from Trump. This is his standard tactic, like to come out and say, I could have solved this war years ago or months ago or whatever he comes out and says about Ukraine, about Israel and Palestine. His response is always that he could have solved it.
Yeah.
He could have solved it. So Biden on Sunday, he said that the strike that was carried out, it was by a radical Iran-backed militant group, and it was a one-way suicide attack drone on a patrol base near Syria and the Iraqi border in northeast Jordan. 25 people injured in the attack.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Trump is critical on Biden, but Biden wasted no time to take shots at Trump in Florida. During a fundraiser in Jupiter, Florida on Tuesday, Biden rallied donors to help him make Trump. He said, he wants to help make Trump a loser again. So he wasted no time as well, rubbing it in his face. The president accused Trump of leaving the United States a mess when he came into office during the height of the COVID pandemic and when the economy was reeling. He also swiped his opponent on mass shootings, the economy, abortion rights, and the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Joe Biden did not address the Middle East crisis during this fundraiser, so he just avoided the whole topic. But he did talk about it at the White House where, he kept it brief. He said that the U.S. planned to respond without giving any details. Now, I don't know what that means, but that's just a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's not doesn't make you feel confident that we're going to find a peaceful resolution to whatever is going on right now. Hopefully things don't escalate too much. I mean, Iran is one of those countries where
with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, we had all these sanctions to try to get rid of their nuclear weapons, and I don't think that ever really went through.
No.
So I don't know. It just seems like there's all these little things that just keep happening and piling up, and like,
yeah, it feels like a world war.
North Korea's been real quiet too.
I mean, yeah, there's so much going on. It's hard to really keep up, but it is scary to think about the possible consequences. So what do you think about Biden just unloading on Trump, in Florida? Do you think that, we talk about what's beef, like Biden and Trump have been beefing for years now.
I mean, it's a pretty much, it's a done deal that Trump is going to be the Republican nominee.
Yeah.
So I can understand Biden already starting to queue up and practice his one-liners and yeah, for real. And his bar so that he can be prepared, because they're going to have some debates coming up in the end of the summer, into the fall, and I would be surprised if at that point Trump is still not attending debates. I feel like once you get to that point, you're the nominee now. Regardless of whatever's happening with his charges and things like that, they're going to have to go head to head. So Biden is laying the foundation.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump says, I'm not doing no debates. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised and work from this far. Yeah.
I mean, maybe. But I feel like when he ran the first time, what really helped him was the way that he was able to galvanize the troops. Mm-hmm. Like, there were so many clips flooding social media of this thing that he said or that thing that he said, the crowd laughing or just whatever it was, that it helped like stoke the fire a bit. I feel like if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't really hit the campaign trail, I think that's going to hurt him. Like, does his popularity within the Republican Party have lasting power? Obviously, yes. Like, he lost an election. Here we are almost 4 years later, and he's blowing the competition away. But I still think you got to get people out to vote. You got to energize your base.
Yeah, and it sounds like both of them are just pointing the finger like, this guy's worse than me. You think I'm bad? He's worse. This guy fucked things up worse than I did.
It's been like that for a long time in politics.
No, more specifically with these two, like,
sure.
It's been on a
They hate
level.
each other. They hate each other. It's grudge match. That's what it is.
Bro, he said Joe Biden's son was on crack in a debate. Like, crazy. Like, things we haven't seen before. But
when you're right, you're right.
Yeah, you know, but listen, like, I don't know. I feel like Biden has a much better chance than people are giving him credit for. I think he did do a good job of attacking Trump the last election in 2020. I mean, you talk about hitting the campaign. He campaigned from a bunker with a mask on, and Trump was out there talking shit, got COVID, looked stupid, ended up losing through a temper tantrum. They had to drag his fat ass out of the White House.
That's true. That is true.
You know, I've been wrong, though. I've been wrong. The last two elections, I thought Hillary was going to win in 2016. I thought Trump was going to win in 2020. So don't listen to me, guys.
So what's your verdict? Who are you picking?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you picking Trump?
No.
So you think Biden's going to win?
I really do. I do, because listen, I hear
now Trump is going to win.
Yeah, I know. Right?
oh poor Biden.
No, but, you know, I hear about, like, interest rates, you know, possibly going down and, you know, inflation going down. And I'm like, okay, it is an election year. You know, I'm hearing these reports about the economy getting a little bit better. And I'm like, maybe by the time November comes around, you know, Trump's going to, like, I don't know, he's going to kick himself in the ass, I feel like. I don't trust him to push forward and not spiral out of control. I
feel that. I mean, listen, we're just now at the last day of January 31st. If you haven't already, make sure you follow, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We everywhere. But there's still a lot of time.
Yeah.
There still is a lot of time for somebody to hit some stumbles and bumps in the road on this campaign trail.
Yeah, we've seen Joe Biden trip every year he's been in office, so...
You're so right. What was I can't remember the first one. The ones I remember the most are the bike and then the sandbag that got him.
Yeah, it was the plane. The first one was tripping up the stairs.
Oh, you're right. It was tripping up the stairs. That could have been really bad, because if he would have fell down the stairs, it would have been over for him. And those are only the ones we saw on camera. Can you imagine the ones that, you know, we don't see? So we'll see who's left standing. Let us know, guys. Who do you think is going to win the next election? Trump, Biden, Cornel West? Who knows? Nobody talking about Cornel.
And do you think that we're headed to a civil war or World War III? I mean, you know, there's a fight in Texas about, you know, removing barbed wires from the border. You know, people are really getting passionate about that. I don't know. Things are just heating up too much for me.
Wait, what? Tell me more about this. I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, the federal government, the Supreme Court said that, they have to remove like the the barbed wire off the border walls, and a lot of people in Texas are like, hell no. And then they're like getting the National Guard out to be like, nah, you're not taking this shit down. So, federal government might have to come in conflict with some state governments, and who knows?
What do you think?
I don't know. I think that things are getting hot. I feel like the border issue with the migrants and Texas sending, migrants to New York and other states, I feel like that's a little bit spooky when you talk about a base of, Republicans in this country who stormed the Capitol when Trump lost the election in 2020 and 2021 in Jan 6. So I'm like, they're still around. They're angrier than ever. Imagine something else happens at the end of this year that they don't like. So I find it very concerning, honestly.
I feel like that shit where they put them on buses and planes and send them places, I feel like that should be illegal and they should put them in jail.
Who in jail?
The Republicans that are doing that. That's human trafficking. You can't just put people on a bus and like send them to God knows where and be like, all right, find your way. That's terrible.
I mean, Bill de Blasio did that with homeless people and back in the day.
Touche. That's a good point. He was wrong for that. That's why he didn't get reelected.
That's why his wife left him.
But back to the barbed wire. I don't know, man. I don't think barbed wire is that bad.
What?
Listen, when we were in Mexico, they had barbed wire.
Oh my God.
On people's houses. On the fence around people's houses, they had barbed wire in Mexico.
I know, and I had to escape that apartment complex because I was scared.
I'm just saying. I don't see the problem. They used to it. It's not like this cruel and unusual punishment to have barbed wire on a fence.
Anyway, so one person who has changed his tune about Donald Trump, man, Snoop Dogg, back in 2017, he put out a music video of him like shooting a clown version of what looked of a Donald Trump lookalike in his music video. Mm-hmm. He also had some album art of a dead body with the toe tag that said Trump and the U.S. flag draped over the casket. He got in some trouble. He got a nice talking to him and Kathy Griffin, who had, the fake Donald Trump bleeding head. They were like competing who could be the most disrespectful to the president. But now Snoop has a change of heart. They asked him how he feels about Trump, and he says, Donald Trump, he ain't do nothing to me. He has done only great things for me. He pardoned Michael Harris. Harris co-founded Death Row Records way back in the day. And Trump pardoned him in 2021 after he spent years behind bars, Wow. So Snoop says, I have nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. How you feel about this, man? Last week we talked about Snoop and OnlyFans, so he does have a sense of morality.
I was going to say, Snoop he won't have sex for $100 million, but he will say that he don't got no problems with Donald Trump. I mean, listen, from Snoop's perspective, in a way, I kind of get it. Like, for a lot of celebrities, and I think a reason why we have these issues where people expect them to come out and speak and really talk about, where they stand from their political point of views or whatever's going on in the world from an ethical perspective. For Snoop, maybe it really doesn't matter to him. Maybe like whether Biden's in office, whether Trump's in office, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, Trump freed his homie who's been locked up for 25 years. Yeah. So do I like it? No. But he also didn't really have too much else to say other than I don't got no problems with him. He freed my boy 2 years ago.
Well, he said nothing but love and respect. So that's a little bit more.
Yeah, love and respect is a little much. That's a little much.
Troy, did you think that was a little bit much for Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, I mean, going from, fake killing a copy of him in a music video to be like, nothing but love and respect. It's kind of, it's interesting.
Do you think that was a threat? Maybe like Snoop had spoken to Trump and he was like, yo, if you don't free my dog, this is what's going to happen to you. And then he showed him the music video and was like, you better make it happen. Make it do what it do.
No.
I'm Snoop D-O-double-G. Like, you know what the vibes are? And then Trump was like, all right, I got you. Paroled his boy.
Those things happen 4 years apart. So no.
I'm just talking shit.
No credence. No, but I mean, if Trump like freed my guy, I said when Lil Wayne, got pardoned by Trump and he put on the sweater, put the thumbs up, I was like, I would do the same thing. So if he, freed my man, I'd be cool with him too. I wouldn't want no problems, especially after getting checked by the feds, after he put some shit out. You don't want those problems.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, hey, it is what it is. We're going to see a whole lot of shucking and jiving, though, over the course of this year.
I mean, I feel like that's every year, but that's how I felt when I saw John Legend singing "America the Beautiful" when Biden won. So it doesn't even matter it's just all pathetic to me. Like, why are you so happy? I remember when Biden won, like people were like high-fiving in the streets and dancing and shit. And I was like, I feel relieved, but I don't feel like that immense joy. Like, but people were really happy. So things have really changed.
I was just happy the circus was over.
Well, is it over?
No,
Still going.
not at all. It settled down for a little bit, but now it's back crazy.
Oh God, yeah. Shout out to Snoop Dogg. That's one beef that has ended. We're gonna talk about more beef as we move forward. But before we get into beef, one person who used to be cool with Trump, I don't know if he is anymore. Elon Musk. Elon. We talk about him a lot. Been a little bit quiet for him, I'd say, the last couple months. But he's out there making news again, man.
He don't quit.
No, man, Neuralink.
How many companies does this guy have?
I don't know. Like a handful.
Every time something new comes up that's like out of this world, it sounds like it's like Elon Musk startup. He's the CEO of XYZ. I'm like, what the hell?
XYZ, that's his son.
You're right, too.
No, but Neuralink, man, it's an implant that they put, a chip that they put into people. Well, at first they were testing it on animals, but finally they tested it on a human.
They tested it on hundreds of pigs, sheep, and monkeys.
Oh, wow. I mean, you got to start somewhere, but they finally tested this on a human. Do you know who the first person is?
No.
It was Dan Campbell, the coach of the
Lions. That's not right.
It explains a lot of recent behaviors, it takes some getting used to.
Listen, shout to the Lions for a good season. Regardless.
Oh my God. I was just watching the Barry Sanders documentary on Amazon. I didn't finish it, but it's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. But yeah, finally implanted this in a human subject. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration last year, they greenlit human trials. So here we are a year later, actually put this into a person. They're saying so the electrodes are programmed to gather data about the brain, including neural activity attached to the movement intention. These new neural signals recorded by the electrodes would then be sent back to Neuralink computers for decoding. The short goal of the company is to build a generalized brain interface and restore autonomy to those with debilitating neurological conditions and unmet medical needs. Then, really the long-term goal is to have this available for billions of people and unlock human potential and go beyond our biological capabilities, man. Would you try this?
It would need to be like way more advanced and way more tested, and like it would have to be like rampant in society. Like people who are using this, no. That's the answer. No. Basically, they're saying like what it could do is it allows people to wirelessly perform computer functions. Like you just think and click, and then it'll automatically like do it with the computer, which is pretty sick. And they were looking for quadriplegics under 40 years old who were going to participate in the human trials. But in the surgery, what happens is that the doctor removes like part of people's brains.
Okay.
And then there's a robot that does the rest of the surgery, putting in the microchip stuff with like 64 threads of electrodes that connect to your brain.
Wow.
That sounds intense. But I mean, if you're a quadriplegic and this could change your life, then you don't have too much to lose, right?
Yeah, I saw the movie Upgrade, and I'm not doing this shit. That's all I got to say. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. Like, no. But I don't know. I think this is the start of the future, man. Troy, would you be down to try this out?
I mean, maybe if I was like a quadriplegic, knock on wood, I would strongly consider, because if you have really, you can't really do much compared to, a regular body. So, I don't know, because again, I read so many sci-fi movies and stuff. This is like step one or day one, where it's like, oh, we just started testing this. Then 2 years later, it's all out of control. So who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this is the mark of the beast and the start of the end of humanity.
Dang, you think they secretly got engraved on their 666?
Somewhere in the coding, there's definitely a 666. This is Elon Musk we're talking about. I don't trust him. I'm not giving him my brain.
It's supposed to be binary, zeros and ones. What do you mean?
This is never mind. I don't know.
No,
man.
say it.
No, man. But
I don't know. Think it could be really cool. I think the uses for this could be amazing. I think in the future, maybe they could unlock whatever untapped shit there is within our brains that, certain people in society, they are able to do things that are just mind-boggling, and then other people, they can't. I think that could be really cool, but it won't. I don't think it'll happen in our lifetimes, but who knows? Yeah. I never thought there were going to be cell phones. And look at the last 20 years.
You never thought there was going to be cell phones? What?
No, like the way that we have them now, with a touch screen and all this kind of stuff. Like in the 90s, my parents had the Vietnam phone plugged into the car. Like that shit had terrible signal and an antenna that was like a foot long. I didn't think it was going to look like what we've got now.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like growing up with it, like, I don't know. I had a touchscreen phone in the 7th grade, so it wasn't like, I feel like I've always kind of like been looking for the next technology, but I draw the line at opening my skull up and taking a part of my brain out of my body. Honestly, I don't want to do this because I don't want to get hacked, man. Imagine getting hacked. Like your body getting hacked. Like if you're linked up to a computer, you're making yourself susceptible to someone hacking you. And then what? You can be hacking people, making them do terrible things. So I don't like the dark side of that. Also, like I'm also super conscious of my data and other things, and I've given that up. So, if we do have some superhuman abilities from this stuff, or if you don't participate, you'll kind of be isolated from society, I might give in eventually, but I don't know. Like, personally, this kind of creeps me out when you actually put something inside of your body.
I mean, there could be some really crazy uses for this. Like, imagine if they have a chip that you put in your brain and it can extend your life like hundreds of years because it like optimizes the way that your body digests things, or like the way it uses the nutrients that it intakes and stuff. Like, it could really break the world.
Yeah, or it could just all be an illusion. Once they hack your brain, you think you're doing something, but you're really just in the Matrix. You're really just stuck in a tube. You never wake up. How would you know?
You're right. You're right.
So I don't trust this shit, man. I'm not trying to join the Matrix. We could already be there, but I like to think not. Some people believe this is all a simulation. I do to a certain extent. But I do believe in like matter and that this is real. And I don't know, when you start talking about chips in my brain, I'm not ready for that conversation yet. I don't care who's doing it. The first human to do it, good for you. Good luck.
We've been putting chips in dogs for a long time. Tracking chips.
I mean, yeah. A lot of people would do that to their man too. So if they could. It doesn't make it right.
Oh, man.
But let us know, guys. Would you try Neuralink? Is this something that you would be open to? Are you excited for like the possibilities of this? And do you think like within our lifetime that this will be like in regular use? Like their long-term goal is to have this available for billions of humans. Do you think that's like gonna happen? I could see it happening. Like as you said, technology has developed so quickly. I mean, we talk about AI every week and how it's just, it's doing crazy ass things that even last year weren't possible. So this is just another layer to it. And are you even still human if you start replacing so many of your organs with computer parts? Are you a hybrid? Are you cyborg? Like, what's going on? You know, I feel like that's another war in the future. You know, the humans versus cyborgs. And what team you want to be on? I want to be on organic humans side personally. Like, I want to fight for organic humans to stay, you know, pure. I'm a Puritan.
I don't know, man. It depends. And if the future is like as dangerous as we think it might be, you might have to be someone who takes on a lot of like robot parts or something like that, and even to survive.
Yeah.
Like if the air is all messed up and polluted, you got to have like robot lungs to be able to make it. I don't know.
See, like I would, like if I could, like I don't know, like have like electric hands or some shit, like I can electrocute someone. I might do that, or maybe like some Wolverine claws, something like that. You want to be in
Star Wars over here, like. Poor Samuel, he got electrocuted into the void, like.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit creepy, but I did find it interesting. I also saw Elon Musk was taking shots at Delaware on Twitter.
Everybody takes shots at Delaware, but then at the same time, that's where they have their companies so that they don't have to pay taxes.
But he said, don't ever like found your company in Delaware because he didn't get like some bonus or some shit. I don't know, but you know, he's always taking shots at people. But you know, that's just what it is. You know, what's beef? You know, the big beef of the week. Pause. I was gonna.
That was a little. That did cross the line. That did cross the
line. Yes. Speaking of crossing the line, you know, it's getting real personal between Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it is heated up all the way.
There's so much.
Yeah. There is a lot.
Did this surprise you? Because I knew there was like a little bit of static between them, but like I didn't realize it was this deep.
I didn't know if it was like the media thing or where like the media is just trying to create something that doesn't exist, or if it was real. But it seems like it's very much so real. Like it's super real.
Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion, you know, she's been releasing songs this year. I guess prepping for a new album. So she released the record Hiss.
Yeah. Where
she took shots at Nicki Minaj, which, you know, I honestly, I would never do that.
I mean, I don't think it was, I think it was good, like what Megan said. I thought the shit was catchy, like talking about Megan's Law, like it was funny to me, and it was really only a few lines.
Well, yeah, she took shots at a lot of people. She took shots at Drake. Yeah. She took shots at her ex or anyone who has said some shit about her in the past. But Nicki Minaj is the only one who I've seen really respond. And she put out her own record called Bigfoot, which took some time for her to put out. I think it took some time for her to clear the record.
Yeah, I think she had a beat and then lost the beat, so she had to get a different one.
Yeah, so Meg said in her song Hiss, she goes, "These hoes don't be mad at Megan, these hoes mad at Megan's Law."
Yeah.
I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start. She's talking about Nicki Minaj's husband.
Yeah.
And his crimes in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. She was taking the shot at everybody. She said when a snake feels like you've been playing and like doing a whole lot of swaying, is basically telling you to back off. I hear you, I see you, get up off me now. Basically, that's what this song means. And then she takes that shot at Nicki. For anybody who doesn't know what Megan's Law is, it's the federal law that requires police to share information about convicted and registered sex offenders. And Nicki, she's got a couple people around her that are registered sex offenders. Her husband, Kenneth Petty, and also her brother. So it's nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty, nasty stuff.
Brought the family into it.
But I mean, this is rap beef. I don't think that's new.
I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying she kind of took it a little bit further than maybe the shot she took at Drake, because she said, "Oh, Drake, like he has like he's talking about women having surgery, but he has the same scars. He has a fake accent." It was more playful with Drake.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm proud of her for taking shots at Drake, because we talked about her. We talked about him dissing her on her loss in 2022, and we were like, people were crying that he was out of pocket, but I'm like, she just responded. I'm glad she did, and I thought what she said about him was funny, but it seemed more personal.
I mean, it only took her like a year and a half, but still, I thought it was a good line.
Yeah, she was going through a lot, like for real.
Honestly, I liked both of the songs that she came out with. Cobra, his wasn't as good as Cobra, I don't think, but I liked the lines that she had, the shots she took at Nicki, Drake. I thought it was solid. I was entertained.
I will say, I would never fuck with Nicki Minaj ever in life. She's crazy. But they both did a lot of talking on the record. Meg talked in the beginning, Nicki talked at the end of her record. So I'll play some of what Meg said, and then I'll play some of what Nicki said.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't flag it, but
we'll
whatever.
See.
It's just talking.
I just want to kick this shit off by saying, fuck y'all. I ain't got to clear my name on a motherfucking thing. Every time I get mentioned, one of y'all bitch ass niggas get 24 hours of attention. I'm finna get this shit off my chest and lay it to rest. Let's go.
Wow. And I'm gonna play some of what Nicki Minaj said. Just a short clip of her on the end of the song Bigfoot.
Now, since you think it's funny to speak about people's families, we'll all join in. We'll all play the reindeer games.
Why is she trying to sound
Soon
like a
as your
female
nose
Joker?
heals, and soon as you're... Well, let's leave that for the second installment.
She left us wanting more. But that shit is creepy as fuck.
That little at the end, that made me think that there's some Cardi shots coming. I was like, ooh. We bringing everybody into it. Got excited. But what did you think of that song?
Listen, all I'm going to say is her talking for like 2 minutes at the end of that song's enough that I would leave her alone. She's crazy. Like, anyone who whispers like that, they mean something a little bit different than the person like Meg getting on there being like, I'm killing anybody who's been talking shit and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get this off my chest. Talks her shit. But when Nicki starts whispering and talking about we'll all join in, when she has crazy ass fans that she obviously, sends out to attack people. She weaponizes her fan base like nobody else does. And she has like no shame in it. It's spooky. I would want no problems with her. The actual song itself, I thought, she tweeted out a lot of the same shots that she did, that were included in the song. So she kind of like shot her load on social media before the song came out. But I will say the song did what it was supposed to do, because I saw a New York Times article about the beef between Meg and Nicki. So clearly it got all the attention that she wanted it to get. And honestly, I don't know how helpful it will be for Meg to keep moving forward with this. She would be smart to just stop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's entertaining. I like the beef and rap. What I will say though is that song by Nicki was dog shit. It sucked. It was really bad. I don't know if it was because the beat was mixed up. I listened to both versions of the song, the acapella and the actual one with the beat, thinking that the acapella might be better. But it was not. It was worse.
It's crazy to release a diss record a cappella. Like, insane.
I've never seen that before. And when I first looked at it and I saw that it released in the 2 tracks, I thought it was fly shit until I heard it, and then I was like, oh, this is not great. But she definitely had her usual shots. I think things that were said about Meg for the last couple years, but it just didn't do it for me. And if this is what Nicki was going to drop, I feel like she should have just not said anything.
I mean, to me, it sounds very personal between them. Nicki just dropped her project that's been super successful, and to me, like, she's been here before, you know. She has like had beef with a lot of people. She's experienced in this field. Meg, I feel
she
like
does this regularly.
I wouldn't say regularly, but it's happened over the years. She's been, you know, popular for 15 years now. So every few years somebody gets it. But she's also Trinidadian. She's also a Sagittarius, and I don't know. I would not want no problems with her. And Meg, I feel like for Meg, she just escaped a lot of negativity. I like rap beef, but I don't think it's good for her. I don't think it's good for Meg at all.
Nicki does this. She got beef with Remy Ma, Meg, Kim, Lotto, City Girls, Cardi B. Like, it's just, she beefs with anybody that enters her domain. She's a very like territorial creature.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't call her a creature either.
We're all creatures. I don't have a problem with that. Come for me, Barbs, or whatever the fuck y'all are called. But I'm just saying, like, anybody that seems like competition, if she feels slighted, she's gonna attack you.
That's not true, because she did a song with Meg before. She did a song. She collaborated.
And then
with
after that, she felt like she got slighted.
Well,
and then she attacked her.
We don't know the basis of that. We haven't heard. Like, this kind of came out of nowhere, honestly. We don't know who slighted who behind the scenes. But I'm saying, like, Nicki's been out. She's worked with a lot of other female rappers. She doesn't just take shots at everybody for no reason. You know, she's had beef with record labels. She said Atlantic, you know, Cardi B's label, was using her to go against Nicki, which, I mean, she has insider information. She does seem a bit paranoid sometimes, but I don't know. Troy, did you hear the records, and what did you think about it?
Yeah, I heard both of them. So I heard them both today, actually, and I heard like the Nicki Minaj one was getting like shit on from at least people in my Twitter circle and online and stuff. And I heard it, and I don't think it was that bad compared to like what I was expecting. I was like, okay, it's not terrible. You know, she had a few decent jabs, but I mean, I think I definitely preferred Megan Thee Stallion's. You know, light diss. It was like 2 bars at her, if that. But I hope they like go back and forth. I don't want her to just like disappear and just know. I want to see like a real rap beef. As long as no one gets hurt, like I'm here for it.
Well, it's hard to say that and say as long as no one gets hurt, because you know we've seen shoes get thrown.
They are clearly very hurt right now. We've seen Cardi with a knot on her head at a gala. Like, this is.
We saw her husband outside of Offset's hotel.
Like, like it's not great.
We saw Megan get shot in the foot. Like, these are things that have happened.
Well, we didn't see it. That's the problem.
Well, that's true. We didn't see it. But I'm saying, like, I just don't think she should go into the negativity. She has a lot of support. I don't think it's going to be helpful for her to dwell in that. I feel like she should escape it. But, you know, I just don't think it's smart. I feel like Nicki is established. You know, Meg's just not there yet.
If Meg has some stuff coming, because, I mean, obviously she's dropped these 2 songs. She must have something coming.
Her last album didn't do well.
Yeah, but this is maybe an attempt to rectify that.
Of course it is, but I don't think this is the right way to do it personally.
I think if she was going to do it this way with a rollout, she should already have a date ready.
It's not even about the date. Like, I think this is going to overshadow anything she puts out. Now you just hit the bee's nest. Like, Nicki already put her album out. She already has her tour scheduled for this year. Like, why would you start this with her? Like, I understood, like, okay, the other shots, especially at her ex and stuff, she could have left it at that. Her talking about Nicki Minaj's family in this, it's just stupid to me.
I don't know. I don't see it that way. I think it's a good move for Meg. She dropped 2 lines. She got this crazy response from Nicki. She clearly is triggered, to say the least. Who do you think has to reply next, though? Do you think that Meg has to reply, or do you think she should just let it drop?
She should let it drop. She should not reply. She should. There's no winning. There's no more winning outside of this. It makes no sense. Why would you drag, especially being like, oh, I'm so traumatized by everything that happened, so you're gonna jump right into negativity? I mean, I think the same thing about Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's like, yo, you ruin your career by selling out everyone you're with. You act like you're the victim of the situation, but then you start instigating shit afterwards. It's hard to sympathize for you. And now we don't hear no music from him. His antics overshadowed the music. I feel like for Meg, she should just focus on the music, the art. She has so much opportunity outside of just doing dumb shit.
She does. They clearly have money behind her.
Yeah.
Even if she is like not on a label or something like that, I don't know. But I agree with you for different reasons.
Why?
Because I don't think the Nicki song was good enough to reply to. Honestly, I really don't. I don't think it was good enough for Megan to be like, oh, I only said 2 bars. She put out a whole song, but the song sucked. The diss sucked. So why should I even bother replying? Like, I'll take the high road. I'm working on whatever I'm working on, and then let her spiral. And maybe bullshit. Nicki will drop something else.
That's bullshit, because like once you start something, you're the one who called someone out on the record. You can't just be, oh, that's not good enough. Like,
but you said she shouldn't respond.
I don't think she should respond, but not because like.
So we agree for different reasons.
We don't really agree, because like if you want to see the rap beef, I don't think it's smart. I don't think it was smart for her to even initiate this, because there's no real winning for her. That's my point. Like, and also it's just like. Yeah, like, why would you want to mess with Nicki Minaj, man? She's crazy.
I think for Meg, anything, any type of press is good press for her.
I don't know.
I think so, especially when we talk about how her last album didn't do what it was supposed to. Like, she has to get people talking about her.
She had people talking about her when she put out another album, and it was overshadowing the music. That's what I'm saying. Like, she needs to focus on her craft if she wants to escape the negativity. I mean, some rappers make negativity a career. I don't really think that's her lane. It was more hot girl fun type of stuff. But now you got other people doing that, and now she's trying to get in rap beef. I know she's responding to things that people have been saying, but best of luck to both these young women. I like Nicki Minaj more than Meg, but you know, she's been around longer, and she really, you know, she's probably the greatest female rapper of all time, career-wise.
Definitely.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, she's definitely the biggest, you know, most commercially successful. I mean, she's very talented, too. I mean, never my cup of tea, but, you know, technically and vocally, and just her performance, you know, throughout the years has been so consistent. I mean, diss records are lame in general. It's hard to get a really good one. It's like weird to like spend so much time like writing. No, you're so lame. It's kind of like lame to make a song about someone else. I don't know.
No, I like diss records. I think they're lame in recent like history because so many of them have been bad.
Most of them are bad in general.
But
I mean,
then
even Ether is not a great song, but people like it because he said shit about Jay-Z.
Yeah,
you know?
It's a great diss track. I mean, aside from the fact that he picked a bad beat, but whatever. The only good diss tracks that we've had are Back to Back and Son of Adidon. Those are the best two.
Yeah.
In the last like 10 years.
Yeah, I just don't think Meg is built like that. Honestly, I don't even believe her when I hear her yelling at the beginning of that record. I just don't believe it. Like, but hey, we'll see. You know, 2024 is off to a crazy start with the beef. Let us know, whose side are you on? Meg, Nicki? Do you think that they went too far?
Team Meg, let's go. Let's represent.
I'm good. No, like, no, she should back off. You know, go do Saturday Night Live. Do things you're good at. You know, don't. But, you know, rap beef, it comes in all shapes and sizes. You know,
it does.
Because we talked about Mos Def and Drake. And, you know, Drake, you know, he sent some subliminals out, you know, commenting on Instagram.
In his feelings, per usual.
No pun intended. But Mos finally, you know, he responded to Drake.
He did. He had a few different things to say.
Let me pull up the audio.
Oh, you got the IG Live?
Yeah, it's on the link. Hold on.
Speak to me directly, you can at any point.
I'll go.
Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asked him to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. But for me, I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma, particularly in times of urgent crisis. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox or the dance floor. You know, a fair weather friend can hardly be called a friend at all.
Yeah, so He went on to say a little bit more. That's pretty much the gist of it. What do you think about what Yasin Bey had to say about Drake, man? He says he wanted to reach out and talk to him man to man, but hasn't heard back from Aubrey.
Why do you think he felt the need to even do this? Is it just because of like the way that the media took this clip and then just circulated it and then Drake started responding and stuff? Or do you think he feels sorry for what he said? Like, because when I listen to it, I'm like, why are you even like apologizing and then giving Drake homework? Like, why? What is the purpose of that?
He never apologized.
The way that he said it, it was like, listen, I reached out, I did this and that to try to explain my point of view. Like, why?
I think he explained it in the clip, the full clip, where he's saying that, you know, he wasn't trying to be antagonistic. He was answering a question, you know, and he said, you know, public figures in modern society, like, you can have an opinion on people. And he didn't say he changed his opinion. He said he's a talented artist, you know, but before they asked him if it was hip hop, he says he makes pop music. And I think he backs up the same point by just saying, like, he expects more from himself and other artists, you know, who express themselves to express more than just what makes people dance. You can be talented, but have more substance to what you're saying. So I think the reason why he went out of his way to talk about it was because the media took it and tried to make it into some, you know, salacious like rap beef. And he was like, all right, if it came off that way, like, let me further explain and elaborate what I really tried to say. Because he wasn't talking to that young lady in the interview and expecting to talk about Drake. He was just comfortable chilling. You could tell he thought it was funny. He was like, you know, choosing his words wisely, but I don't think he was doing it for the internet moment it became. So I think he just wanted to, you know, shed some more light and elaborate further.
I don't know.
Troy, what did you think about it?
Yeah, no, I think I kind of agree with what you were saying about him just trying to like elaborate more. I don't really think it's realistic because Drake doesn't really make music like that. So it's like asking someone, even though he is a creator and he is very talented, he doesn't really talk about like social issues. So like I know Mos Def or Yasin Bey expects a lot, but I'm sure he feels that way about a lot of modern hip hop. But like that's not why Drake's here. So I don't really know like what he's expecting.
I don't think he's well, he did say it, but I'm saying like I think that's why he differentiates it from pop and hip hop. I think that's the point he was making. Like, okay, I like what you're doing, but I'm not gonna say it's hip hop because there's no real substance beyond just making people dance. That's what I got from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people are so concerned with somebody else's feelings these days. It's like if he wanted to come out and make this statement, great. But to me, it's like you have your opinion. If he got his feelings hurt because of your opinion, fuck him. His feelings are hurt. But you didn't say nothing egregious or nothing like that. You said your opinion about his music. You think he makes pop. You think his music is similar to what you could listen to in a grocery store. What? Who cares? That's your opinion. You're 50 years old. You've been in the game. You're solidified. Everybody knows your history. Let it rock.
Because he's talking about his words and his message being misconstrued by a bunch of dumb.
That's fine. I'm just telling you what I think. If it was me, let it rock. Who cares?
I heard you already. You already said it. But what I'm saying is, like, if people take his words and take it out of context, and he wants to write that ship, then he has the right to do that. Especially when he's talking about something very serious and people getting murdered, and you know he's talking about people getting slaughtered in Gaza. He's not trying to talk about this stupid shit. So if you're gonna take my words and circulate this clip when he's trying to make a larger point, then it's not just take it and go with it. It's something bigger he's speaking to. It's not just hurting Drake's feelings. He's trying to clarify, like, no, I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm talking about just the bigger scope of all artists, and people should, like, you know, be more serious. And I think if you live your life that way, if you make your art, you know, for a specific purpose to kind of bring attention to things and really try to help the world, then you have to be authentic in that. If anything kind of, you know, distracts from that, you should correct it.
Whatever you say. I mean,
maybe
listen,
you just don't get it. I don't know.
I don't. I get it clearly. I disagree.
Disagree with what? I don't understand what. If you understand it, then what are you disagreeing?
What I'm saying is that, okay, if that's what he wants to do, if he wants to talk about bigger world issues, great. You know who Drake is. You already said your opinion on who Drake is. He's pop. He don't care nothing about those bigger world issues. Leave it. It is what it is.
What are you talking about? Like that? Like I don't understand. Like, you don't want him to talk about it again?
No,
like,
he can talk about whatever he wants. I'm saying I don't see the reasoning behind it. What is the value?
He explained it in the video. Maybe you didn't watch the whole video.
No, I watched the video. I'm saying I don't understand. You want to say that? Great. Nobody cares at this point. It's done.
People do care because people are still talking about it. People were circulating this video, and it did bring further light to it. Like, if someone takes something you said out of context, it gets pushed around. Like,
what was out of context?
He provided more context to it. People were blogs were posting that up and acting like, oh, he's kind of hating on Drake. That's what was taken out of context. You look at the comments of all like Drake's fans and all academics posts, and they're all like, oh, this man's just hating. You listen to the Joe Budden podcast and you heard them interpret this as he's being a hater. So you've heard people misinterpret.
When has Yasin Bey ever cared about what the masses think like that, though? That's why I'm saying this.
What are you talking about?
I don't see why he cares.
It's not about caring. It's about.
All right.
What do you mean? I don't even understand that. Like, if something goes viral and you feel like you need to further elaborate or, make your point, what's wrong with that? I don't understand why that's.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I don't think he's ever really cared like that about what the masses think. He has never followed the mainstream like that.
When have you ever seen like a viral clip of him saying anything that was interpreted negatively?
I can't think of.
Exactly. So this is something that he wants to clarify. I don't see why that's a problem. But,
okay.
Do you think Drake is going to respond to him again? Or
Drake's going to sneak diss him like he does all the time. He puts a couple lines in every song when his next album comes out. That's what it'll be.
Listen, I think Drake should be really happy about Nicki just going off on Meg, because I feel like the shots that Meg took at him were way worse than what Yasin Bey said. And like, that's something, I don't know, but Drake's been taking his shots for a long time. I mean, he even started with Meg Thee Stallion, talked shit about her multiple times. So he's a sassy boy.
Yeah.
Mos Def don't have no beef. Like, he's been in the industry for a long time, so he's just not that type of guy.
Everybody's just in their feelings. It's annoying.
Not Britney Spears, man. She says she forgives. Oh, she apologized actually to Justin Timberlake for, what she had said about him in her recent book. I guess after you sell thousands of books, then you apologize. But she posted up on her Instagram a picture of Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon during his Tonight Show performance recently. And she wrote, I want to apologize for some of the things I wrote in my book. If I offended any of the people I genuinely care about, I am deeply sorry. She then went on to shout out, his new song. She was like, I also want to say I'm in love with Justin Timberlake's new song, Selfish. It is so good. And how come every time I see Justin and Jimmy together, I laugh so hard? Now, I feel like this is what you thought Mos Def said about Drake.
How? This is nice.
Because she's apologizing. I'm saying, like, do you have a problem with her apologizing after she already kind of shit on him in her book and sold all the copies? Now she's on Instagram.
Publishing a book is way different than what Yasin Bey did. It's completely different spectrums. But listen, I think it's funny that she apologized and then she put up screenshots of how many number ones both Selfish albums got. She's a nutcase.
Screenshots of what?
She put up a screenshot of the number ones that they have and where the number ones are.
Oh, each of them?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't see that part. I don't even understand that. But
listen, I don't know what her train of thought is. It seems like maybe she's trying to rectify things.
Maybe she just really liked seeing him on the Tonight Show, and she was like, you know what, I gotta apologize. I crossed the line on that book. I already made my money. Like, screw it.
I don't know. She's going through a divorce. She got a lot of different feelings and emotions right now.
Is she still?
Yeah, it's not done.
Shit, I thought they came to an agreement.
No, it's not done.
Damn. Well, yeah. See, some beef does end, guys. Like, let us know. Do you think that Britney Spears should have apologized to Justin Timberlake? I feel like if anyone feels the need to apologize, and it's always good to do so. To do it, on Instagram is always, I don't know, I guess if they don't have like I doubt that she has his phone number at this point. But do you think that he cares at this point that she's apologizing? Do you think that he'll reach out or he'll acknowledge this? Because he is like, bro, he's rolling out a new album. He's going to be doing some media at some point. They're going to ask him.
If Justin is smart, he will continue to stay far, far away from her and not interact at all and let any communications go to his communication team. Like, there's no way.
You think he's going to tell people not to bring it up before he interviews with them?
Do you think people really would? Maybe they would. I don't know.
100%, man. Are you serious? How many books she sold? That he has had to deal with so much negative publicity for Britney Spears.
I mean, all he's got to do is come up with like one line. Just come up with one line. Just be like, listen, I heard everything about Britney. I wish her all the best and all the success in the world. Like,
I feel like he's been saying that because he hasn't leaned into the negativity. But yeah. I was surprised to see her post this. But hey, whatever. At least she's doing something positive and not like dancing around with knives around her dogs, her scared dogs in the house.
She's a nut. She is a nut, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, she's a little crazy. You know, they say our boy Ye is crazy. And they pressed him in the streets of Hollywood, man. Paparazzi rolled up on your boy. You know, he's been posting a lot of photos of his wife, Bianca. I think we talked about it. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't know. But he's getting ready to roll out Vultures. He's clearly in album mode.
Mm-hmm. He got the mask on.
Yeah. And from this encounter, man, like, it just gets me excited for more music.
That's a crazy reaction. All right, let's take a look at this video.
She's TMZ. What do you feel like it's okay? I'm a human being. All of this TMZ, this 30 miles on y'all set celebrities up, all this bullshit. I don't give a fuck what y'all got to do. What y'all gonna do? What y'all got to say? Come at me with that shit, ask me that. You think you can walk up on me like that? Would you think that you a white woman, you can walk up on me like that? And ask me some dumb ass shit like that? Ask me are my wife, talking about she got free will? Are you crazy? You ain't saying this is America. You got free will or you work for the devil? You got free will?
That was the line right there. You got free will or you work for the devil.
You come ask me some dumb ass shit about my wife. That's my wife. You understand? You wasn't asking shit when I couldn't see my kids. When I couldn't, you had questions. You had questions when I wasn't able to see
He brings that shit up all the time.
Yeah. He's never gonna let that go. I wouldn't either.
You got questions for that or you part of the system? You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
He low-key sounded like he might want to cry.
What do you hear? What do you hear about that?
You never know with the mask.
Yeah. Which is where it comes in handy. Oh, man. It's a lot in there.
He went off, man, for like 4 to 5 minutes before finally returning the phone. You know, he asked the paparazzi, he's like, how much do you make in the air? Like, I'll pay you double. Here, take my number. Gave her phone back and walked away. Do you think he's going to hire this woman?
He going to pay her so she don't sue him for taking her phone and roasting her like that for 5 minutes.
I mean, can you get sued for that? I
don't know. But, I mean, when I saw this, I was concerned at first. If I didn't see the title and that he just, like, took her phone, I would have thought watching the video that he was about to sneak her. Like, his hands, he had him in the front. He was like, he had that energy. Like, he wanted to put hands on her. And I'm so glad and thankful that he did not.
Come on, he only takes cameras and phones from paparazzi. He don't hit nobody. Like, as far as I know. I mean, he has been sued for getting in conflicts with them. Yeah. But, yeah, that was crazy. It was real smooth, though, how he snatched it, though. I will say, it didn't even
with
look
the
like
mask on. That's the thing. It was almost like he didn't even look.
Yeah. No look, man. He called himself a superhero. He looked like one, grabbing that phone. Oh, my God.
What do you think? How is Kanye doing? His mental state?
I can't speak for the man's mental state, but I will say, like, he went in on young lady. I like what he had to say to her. I think it's good to confront people, face to face. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure she's really happy that this happened. It's way better. It's probably the reaction that she wanted to get out of him for asking that dumbass question.
Yeah.
I do think it was a dumbass question, but she got a reaction out of him. It's hard, because I know it must feel crazy. It must feel crazy to just be minding your business or walking around being famous and being hounded by people just coming up to you, feeling like they can say whatever they want. I don't know.
Yeah, Troy, what were your thoughts? Do you think Kanye's wife has free will?
I'm not going to answer that dumb question, but no, I love seeing celebrities go off on paparazzi because, like you said, like people just think they can do whatever they want, and because certain things are frowned upon, like you can just say whatever with no consequences. And he all he did was snatch her phone and chastise her, and I'm sure she loved it. She was all giddy, like she was going to start the fake tears. Then he's like, "Oh, I'll double your salary." She started all cheesing, all the way to the back.
Whole facial expression changed. She looked like she was in timeout getting grilled, and then all of a sudden,
yep, it was like those crocodile tears. So no, I love seeing these paparazzi just get ripped into because I feel like. It's just such a scummy job, and I'm just like, damn, they should at least feel bad, even if it's just like 10 seconds, just that little bit that you put onto other people, just feel it yourself.
He definitely did flip the tables, and I will say, paparazzi, they're like the paid version of hecklers, and I like heckling, but to get paid for it, it's got to be pretty good.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to deal with this shit. I wouldn't want someone to be. I could never do that job, honestly. I feel like gross.
Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah. It's nasty work. But because you have to follow these people and track them and know where they're going, and then you gotta have your phone out or your camera, and then you gotta ask them things that are gonna provoke them like this. It's just, yeah. It's not great.
It's crazy. Yeah, I just want please just drop Vultures. What was it, next week? The volume 1, please just make that happen. That's all I care about. All this other shit, I don't care. I just want the music, please, sir.
You know how mad you're gonna be when it's volume 1 is just a single and it's 4 singles that are coming.
It's not gonna be because they already released one single.
Messing.
They would do a couple songs of them. I will take anything at this point, but I'm excited for it no matter what. I don't know. I feel like people are ready for more Ye because Adidas thinks so too, man. They said, we will be selling the remaining Yeezy inventory. Surprising.
Yeah, Adidas, they're definitely ready for more Ye, for more money. That's what they're looking for that Q1 earnings report.
Hell yeah. They say our consumer, retail, and trade research has shown that we can sell this remaining inventory in 2024.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
For at least the cost price. And this is why we are only writing off inventory that was either damaged or very broken. We only getting rid of the broken Yeezys, but we selling the rest of that shit because we need to.
How do Yeezys get broken sitting in a box in a warehouse?
Listen,
other than the rats coming in because it's cloth shoes.
It's those executives' kids, man. These are damaged.
You're right. You're right. We did talk about that.
They be flipping them on StockX.
That kid was flipping $1 million worth of shoes.
Yeah, that was crazy. Nike's using the corporate card, so I'm sure all those write-offs just went right to their stocking stuffers on Christmas.
Nasty work.
But yeah, I know we talked about it because they put it on pause last year. They were acting like, oh, we're still thinking about what we're gonna do with the inventory. But
dude, they're stalling. They're gonna come out and be like, we've decided to renew our relationship with Kanye after his efforts to heal the Jewish community, something like that.
I don't know. We'll see.
They're gonna put some kind of real nasty spin on it so that it's digestible.
Yeah, I mean, people are still buying them. They bought them last year. I don't think it's going to stop at all this year. Ye has apologized in Hebrew. Thankfully, the 40-minute apology video has not come out yet.
Somebody talked him off that cliff.
I would want to see that video, but I wouldn't want it to be out to the public. But just for my own curiosity, I would like to hear what the hell he had to say. But yeah, we'll see if Vultures comes out. When is the first one supposed to come out? The 9th?
The 9th, yeah.
That's next Friday, guys. So, let us know. Are you excited for Vultures? What do you think about Ye snatching the phone? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did he go too far?
What would you do to like paparazzi following you like that?
Bro, I don't know.
Would you just ignore him? I feel like I would just ignore him. I don't know though.
It depends on, what they say to you. If they say something real triggering like that, you might want to say something. I mean, sometimes you feel like I'm trying to take the high road, but you might just be in a bad mood.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like, I don't know. I don't like to be reactionary in general, but sometimes you can catch me and I'm just in a mood and I might just be way more sassy. And sorry, it's going to happen. Don't test me.
Listen, the closest example I can think of being followed by paparazzi is being in Colombia. And being followed by those people at the fucking beach and all the stores.
Yeah, I can't handle
and that, trust me, that shit had me stressed.
Yeah.
It really did. It had me like uptight because I'm like, I don't like all these people just following me around. It's weird.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it like really getting to you.
Yeah. I think it would drive me crazy. I would not want to be that famous at all. Like, and if I was, I'd probably have a mask on. Yeah. Troy, could you imagine that?
Yeah, no, I think it'd be very frustrating. I would probably snap at a few of them, and I'd also try to, do something petty, like, pop their tires or hire someone. Not me personally, but, I'm messing with them. If they're going to mess with me, I'm going to, try to get them back somehow, do a prank or something.
That'd be the best fucking TMZ story ever. Like, it's a famous person, attacking paparazzi. But yeah, man, speaking of pranks, we were talking about the Nets and Knicks, and there were some furries at the game a couple of weeks ago with Tyra Banks. There was a lot of other strange things happening around New York City, and Donald Glover, he had posted his Instagram page, like HiHi, that was related to all the events, man. I read a little bit into this, but did you read into it at all?
I didn't get a chance to read this article. I think we added this one late, but I saw the Instagram page.
Because the Instagram page is so weird, it was hard to understand.
Yeah, it just seemed like one of those lifestyle pages where they have really cool art and cars and random stuff posted on the page, but then the bio, that's where you get the question.
What question?
The question is basically saying, would you risk it all to have it all?
Damn, that sounds intense.
It does. It really does. And then they said, DM us HiHi, HiHi.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't do it.
Troy, did you do it?
No, I did not do it, but I've been thinking about it.
Damn, we should do it.
Is this like a red pill, blue pill kind of thing? If you don't send the message, then you're living in the Matrix still?
I kind of regret not doing it. I didn't even read the bio, not gonna lie.
Dude, since the articles and stuff have come out, they're probably flooded. Their DMs are flooded.
Yeah.
They still post them, though. You can do it now. I have the questions.
Oh, yeah?
If you want to, it's just 3 questions, yeah.
Yeah?
You want to try it, yeah.
What are the questions?
So the first one is, how far would you go for the life you've always dreamed of?
Okay.
The next one is, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? And the third one is, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't get caught?
Do you have an answer for those questions, Troy?
I kind of have a weak answer for the first one, and then I have an answer for the second, too. But for the first one, how far would you go for the life you've always dreamed of? I think I would, as long as I'm not, hurting anybody, I think I'm pretty open. As long as there's nothing, against my own morals, and I'm not, hurting or causing harm to anybody I care about or, innocent people.
What about hurting yourself?
Ooh. Why you
no.
No, that's a no too.
I mean, it depends. If I have to break my pinky or something weird like that, okay, sure. But I'm not gonna do anything super detrimental.
That's fair.
I definitely hurt someone else before hurting myself.
Oh man, we're learning a little bit here about each other.
Yeah, how far would you go?
I go pretty far because you only have one life to live. If it's a life I've dreamed of, I'm not sure. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I don't know. I can't think of anything super creative. But I think I go pretty far. I don't know. What's on the table for you, Brian?
The question is how far, and that's the toughest part of the question right there. Because, granted, they're talking about life that you've always dreamed of. That's that would be amazing. But how far would you go? Would you leave your family? Would you, completely move to a different country? Like, would you make a change, like, in your friends group, like, and stop talking to all your friends? Like those are some things that, like, those are tough things to give up. And I feel like you would have to really sacrifice to get the life you really wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? You have an answer for that?
Shit. Some of the spots that I've had some sex in.
I would say some of the girls I had sex with. Very risky. Troy, what about you, man? What's the biggest risk you've taken?
I think mine is probably going away to my college. Back when I was after high school, I went to community college for 2 years, and then I had a chance to either stay local, stay in my same county with my same old friends and stuff, or go kind of far out the way, which is what I decided to do because I wanted to see if I could truly make it on my own without really having my core friend group and stuff to kind of fall back on, and just to see what kind of person I really am outside of them. And it was very successful. Made a lot of new friends over in college, and it was very risky because at first I was like, oh man, I don't know anybody here. This is kind of like a fresh start, but it worked out, and now I'm still friends with a lot of those people to this day.
Nice.
Troy is so wholesome.
All right.
We're terrible.
Hey, we all take different risks.
That's right.
But the last one is like, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't get caught? I'd rob a bank easy. That's just like, yeah, I'd rob a bank.
Yeah, I would rob everyone. I would rob the world.
The
U.S. Mint. The Federal Reserve. Listen, you want me to name more?
Yeah, I'd definitely rob someone, or I don't know what else. Yeah, that'd be good to get away with.
Sneak into private shows or something like that. That would be really cool. Fly an airplane. I've always really wanted to fly an airplane.
You want to die, man.
No, if I knew how. And
how would you have to?
Yeah, but
what? So you wouldn't get caught flying an airplane? You could do that.
You can, but if you I don't know how to fly an airplane, and I haven't taken the classes. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but that's how you learn. You can't just jump in a plane.
Obviously, it's just something I would want to do if I knew I wouldn't get caught.
But never mind. You have to learn the skill before you could even do it.
Listen, I would
feel
love
like
to
it's
do
a waste
that.
of not getting caught. You got to do something more scandalous, a little bit, or gain more. I don't know. But we just brainstorming, guys. Let us know. Do you guys have answers? Did you DM HiHi? I wonder what it is, but I did read the article, and it turns out that this is just guerrilla marketing for Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon Prime.
It's pretty good, though.
It's just a rollout, as Ice would say. It's a weird rollout. I don't see how it directly relates to the show. I don't really care. If I hear that the show is good, I'll check it out, but I'm not rushing to go watch it. But shout out to them for being creative.
I want to see it. I'm definitely looking. Is it coming out this weekend, I think? It's February 2nd, right?
Yeah, I think Friday.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I thought the Tyra Banks thing with the furries was really funny. And we talked about it, and I thought at first that it was Beyonce because the picture was far away, and then it came out that it was Tyra, who I haven't seen in a long time.
I think she's a host of Dancing with the Stars or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was funny. That's something that would definitely happen at a Nets game and not a Knicks game. But hey. Oh man!
But do you think those were random people that DM'd and then they got put in furry suits and got courtside seats?
No, I don't think so at all. I think these are very elaborate pranks that they were doing, high profile stuff. I don't think they would give that to random people, but I don't fully understand the marketing thing. Yeah. Troy, do you know any more about this besides the Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
No, I didn't even know that it was a part of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I thought it was something else on the side that they were promoting. But I guess it makes sense, but I don't really see the connection. Yeah. So I'm intrigued to see. Hopefully it gets revealed soon.
Yeah, hopefully. What did get revealed? Who's in the Super Bowl?
It did in somewhat stunning fashion.
Oh my God, yes. I would like to give myself credit for being the only one who was right in my Super Bowl prediction. I picked the Chiefs and 49ers, the matchup nobody wanted to see. No one. Everyone was upset. I'm like, damn.
Nobody wanted to see them again. We saw it 3 years ago.
Yeah. But it was tough, man. I mean, I don't know who I feel worse for, Detroit fans or Baltimore fans, man.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I since we talked about it, I do think I have to agree with you that it's probably Baltimore. Just because, like, after they beat the Niners in the regular season, everybody was like, all right, well, they're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, because they beat the shit out of the Niners.
They did.
And
the Dolphins.
Yeah, and the Dolphins. And look.
Yeah.
They choked. Like, I can't. You run the ball all year over 20 times a game, and then you only run 6 times in this game. I don't know what it is in the league, but there's these teams that Detroit did the same thing. They didn't run the ball.
In the second half, they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. Like, you up.
They were running it really well the first half.
And you just stopped running. Like, I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense. The Eagles did this for the last 7 games of the season, and that's why they look like dog shit, because they stopped running the ball. Teams go down 7 points, and they're like, oh, my God, we have to put the ball in the air. It's like, no, you're only down 1 score. Continue with your game plan. You're not in trouble yet. But they just get shook.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kansas City Chiefs. They pulled it together because they did not look great after they had like a few game skid during the season. Shout out to the Niners. I mean, they lost 3 back-to-back and then got really hot for the second half of the season until they lost to the Ravens. What can you say? I don't want either of these teams to win. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Hater.
All the way hating. If I had to pick one, it would be the Chiefs. I want Mahomes' legacy to continue to grow.
Yeah, man, and I feel the same way. And I said I would never bet against Mahomes. He just shows how he's levels above every other quarterback. I really feel like Patrick Mahomes is like Michael Jordan of football, and as long as he's in the league and healthy, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, these other guys are just going to be Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. They're not going to get their opportunity because they can't beat them.
Yeah.
It's tough, I did want to ask, because you cursed out the entire NFL last year about Lamar Jackson.
I did.
And also you were kind of hard on Josh Allen, man. And I got to say, Lamar looked a lot worse at home than Josh Allen did versus the Chiefs. Are you ready to apologize to Josh Allen?
I have no reason to apologize to Josh Allen. Everything I said about him is true.
That's not true.
Lamar Jackson's performance has nothing to do with Josh Allen, but I understand people comparing the two of them. Lamar shit the bed. But again, they went away from their game plan. They didn't run the ball. The reason he was successful all year is because you can run the ball and create so many opportunities on offense when you do that. You can't do that if you don't run. And then when you, fumble the ball 2 times in the red zone, like, it's just, that's not something you can come back from.
He turned the ball over. I mean, the Chiefs made really big plays. Like,
their defense has been great all year.
Those fumbles, because Baltimore's defense they did pretty well. The beginning of the game, Kansas City looked good. They went down the field, but that second half, they didn't score at all. No. So, Baltimore kind of shot themselves in the foot. I will say the NFL is super soft for calling that taunting call on Flowers after flipping the ball down. They're home. But Baltimore lost the game. Troy, were you surprised by the results?
Surprised, no, because, I know. I think I said I wanted the Ravens to win, but I do like Mahomes. I'm rooting for Mahomes this way just because I want him to beat Tom Brady's legacy. Since I'm a Jets fan, I'm a Tom Brady hater, so I want Mahomes to surpass it. But no,
he's tied right now.
It's getting close. It's interesting, but what was the original question?
Like, what did you think about just the results of
the game? I was more disappointed in Lamar. I felt bad because I was like, damn, between him throwing that terrible pick, save Flowers with that, I think it was Flowers who had that terrible fumble and stuff. I was like, man, they're going to be hearing it all off season. That's going to haunt them because they should have had that game. That second half, they locked the Chiefs down and they had to make a few plays and they just could not do it.
Bad decision making
at home. I feel for Flowers because him turning the ball over, he was really just trying to score a touchdown. That's instinctual, and the Chiefs just hit the ball out. It was great hand placement. right at the perfect moment. Those are the plays you got to make if you want to go to the Super Bowl.
Huge play. Do you think they were talking about they're going to try to do something about that fumbling in the end zone rule to get rid of that?
Why?
Because it's happened a few times this year.
Well, it's a rule for a reason. I mean, just don't do it.
I feel the same way. Like if the rule happens to hurt you, I mean, it is what it is. It'd be different if it was happening like every other game where people are fumbling in the end zone and it's a touchback for the other team. But keep your hands on the ball.
Yeah, and the Lions. I mentioned I watched Barry Sanders' documentary, and just more, heartbreak for Detroit.
Yeah,
they really fumbled it, man, because they had a lot
dominating.
They had a lot of opportunities. They were up 20? Was it
20 to 7?
I think it was even more than that. Wasn't
27 to 7?
27 to 7, yeah. And they just kept going for it on fourth down. I hear people being real critical of Dan Campbell, and I'm one of those people because and a lot of people had his back and they're like, oh, you praise him when it works, but when it doesn't, you can't criticize him for it. I'm just like, well, of course, when it works, you get praised for something, but when something doesn't work and you keep fucking trying to do it, obviously you're doing something wrong. You're not it's just ridiculous. As a head coach, you have to make better strategic
game time decisions. Yeah,
and when you have a chance to tie the game after you were down and you choose to go for it again, it's just really stupid.
It's nuts. I think you just situational awareness. Like, I understand you want to be aggressive, you want to go for fourth downs, but at a certain point, you just have to understand the simple facts of the game, where the game is. Go for the tie. Extend the game rather than risking it all on this one play when you're already down after they came back. You were blowing them out, and they came back. This team is hot. You got no momentum. And in momentum, football is the biggest place for that.
Bro, I don't believe in momentum at all.
I believe in that shit.
It's about execution. I mean, momentum is just a perception of what's going on, but you had to execute. They had plenty of opportunities. And when, you let the ball bounce off your face and the other team grabs it, come on. I don't know. There's a real thing to, choking mentally, but there's plenty of things that Detroit could have did, I feel to secure that win, but hey, I feel like they were happy to be there. Eminem was there. Barry Sanders was there. But the 49ers got it done. Shout out to them. They'll be seeing the Chiefs in 2 weeks in Vegas. And you know who else will be there, man? Taylor Swift.
Hey, shout out to T Swift.
The queen of football.
Queen of AI.
Last week I said that her and Travis Kelce would get engaged at the Super Bowl.
You did. You did.
I don't think that they will at the Super Bowl, but they looked like they were in love after the AFC Championship and she ran out on the field.
I mean, hey, what's not to love? What is not to love? I mean, shout out to Travis. He dominated that game, especially the first half.
Especially after bullying the kicker before the game. That's real nice.
So I was seeing some mixed stuff about that because apparently it was the Chiefs' turn to practice and he was just still kicking and wouldn't move.
Apparently, but the kicker said it was just whatever. He didn't. Kelce was the one who seemed still mad about it afterwards, but he looked really happy after he got that win and had his billionaire boo hugging him and whispering in his ear. Man, do you think that he seals the deal this year?
I don't know. Maybe if it follows a normal trajectory of a relationship, they've only been together 6 months. So maybe not. Maybe it'll be 2025, something like that. But who knows? Maybe I don't know their relationship. I feel like they finally do seem comfortable, though. I think the first few times that the media kind of bombarded them after football games and stuff, they looked shaken a bit. I mean, obviously
he did. He looked uncomfortable.
He did for sure, but it seemed like she was uncomfortable because he was uncomfortable, that sort of thing.
She always looked kind of fine to me. He always kind of looked like he was felt a little bit weird in the camera, but they were full of joy on the sidelines. And you say 2025. This one man who is a witch, I guess, he says that they're gonna get. He's gonna pop the question in 2025. He was using some tarot cards, and he said that's what the prophecy is. So maybe you're right.
Maybe. I would not be surprised. They got to give it a little bit of time. But Shamice says, F Taylor Swift. Sorry, not a fan.
Damn, Troy, your mom. Not a T Swift fan, man. You don't like her either, or
no? I don't really care about Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
you know, she makes. I mean, I like some of her songs. I worked at a radio station for a while, so those songs are just like ingrained in my brain. I don't think they're bad. It's not my cup of tea, though.
See, that's why I would never get Neuralink. Imagine they just play Taylor Swift in your brain.
That would be crazy torture if like you go to prison and then they just play the same song over and over and over.
Yeah. I don't want that, but yeah. I mean, she's huge. I mean, Joe Biden is begging for her endorsement. But you know, she's also has some controversy because she's really upset about these AI photos that have been circulating around the internet. They've been pretty explicit.
Yeah.
You know, Twitter.
Very explicit.
Yeah, very explicit. Twitter and Microsoft both are trying to clean up, you know, the internet. You know, Microsoft is trying to update their AI generator from being able to, you know, create these pictures, and Twitter is trying to ban all of the images that are posted on there because they're afraid of getting sued, man. Like, what do you think about this? You know, we talk about AI. I think this is the first example of, you know, someone really major having a big problem with, you know, fake images going out on the internet. Do you think we'll see more of this year?
Listen, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. We've seen it for the last couple of election cycles with like the fake stuff. We just talked about Biden with the fake AI recording that calls people's houses, telling them not to go vote and things like that. Like, this is just the beginning. This has been around for a long time, though. The AI pictures and stuff like that, especially in the sexual kind of twist, it's been around a long time.
Not that long, like within like the last year.
No, it's been around like a number of years.
You
where
mean
where they take like people's face and then put it on.
That's like Photoshop. This is totally different. This is AI generated.
Yeah, but if you take
different.
somebody's face and put it on something else, isn't that very similar?
It's similar, but this is different. This is creating a new image just by a generator. Like, it's just a created image. Like, Photoshop always existed, but well, not always. Just in recent years.
It's been
this is a new
around
technology.
A long time. I feel like this is Photoshop on steroids, though. It's AI generated fake porn.
But do you think it's going to be regulated?
I don't see how.
I mean,
even if they regulate it, they're still going to be on websites and stuff, and Google Images and like wherever you want. Like I just don't see how you could.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they're scrambling now to try to prevent it, but I think the genie's out of the bottle. I think this is just going to be the norm.
For sure. I mean, one of the posts on Twitter, it got more than 45 million views in 17 hours.
That's crazy.
Like,
damn, numbers for a fake picture, but hey, people could think it's real. So I think these companies could end up getting in a lot of trouble. You know, and when you speak about elections, you know, we talk about deep fakes and, you know, other technologies. I think that's all in play these days. I mean, it's spooky. Like, I feel like this is something that does need to be regulated. I'm not sure how, but I think it's going to be a deeper problem as we move forward, especially this year. I think there's going to be more celebrities who are a little bit pissed, or political figures who are trying to protect their image. I don't know, Troy, what did you think about the AI pics?
I mean, I know, like, you know, unfortunately, this stuff has been going around for a hot minute now, and it's only going to continue to get worse. I think there probably should be some sort of regulations. I know it's impossible to, you know, regulate everything. You know, there's still crazy stuff out there online. But I mean, even if you just say, like, hey, you know, Twitter won't allow this, or, you know, Facebook won't allow this, or something that stops, like you said, that 45 million people will now be cut down to what, maybe 100,000 or something. Like, it'll stop something. And I think, you know, just with all this, like, you know, people, maybe not our generation, but the generation above us, who can be fooled by, like, you know, those fake Biden calls or fake videos. Like, I remember there was like some fake Zuckerberg video on Facebook that my grandma was like, did you hear they're getting rid of Facebook? And I was like, that's fake. Like, that's fake. So, stuff like that, I think, can spread a lot of misinformation and like a lot of strife in that community. So I think they should have some sort of regulation.
Yeah. I mean, how would you feel if they were putting out, fake AI pictures of you, like naked or doing things that you wouldn't sign off on? How would you feel about that, man?
I would be annoyed, but if they gave me like a 6-pack with, huge muscles and nice legs and everything like that, and I got my hair back and stuff like that, or at least a fresh baldy like Mr. Clean, I mean,
you might not be mad.
Give me a nice foot long, you know what I'm saying? Pause.
You type that query in, you might get something totally different. Something you might not like. I don't know.
No, but all jokes aside, no, I think it was like, this was very aggressive.
Yeah.
Whatever pervert put this together, he had a whole folder of like 100 pics, and he was clearly a huge soccer fan. Because half of them were at the soccer stadium with this chick huddled like in some sexual pose, and then guys just all staring at the camera or staring at her like it was some freak shit.
That's crazy.
It was different, yo. It was different. Yeah. Shout out to T Swift.
Shout out to her, yeah, and AI T Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd feel some type of way if AI pics were going around of me doing things I wouldn't do or doesn't represent myself at all. Yeah. Like, I don't appreciate that. I think the future is a little bit spooky. Protect your kids and their images, because the way that this technology is evolving, you never know. I mean, it's scary to think of someone just generating an image that never happened, being like, oh, you robbed a bank, or you committed a crime, or you were here when you weren't here. I don't know. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cops are going to start having new ways to set people up.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I got on my Jalen Brunson jersey, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Knicks for bringing me immense joy and happiness in January. 14-2 record. They're beating the shit out of teams, holding them under 100 points, beating teams by 30 points, 20 points every night. Even with injuries, get well soon, Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. I'm really excited, man. New York is back, and Timeout says New York is the best city in the world.
Wow. I don't know how much of that correlates with the Knicks, but we'll rock with it.
A lot of it does, man. It's 2024, baby. It's the new year.
Oh my goodness. So every year Timeout surveys the readers and more than 100 staff writers and editors around the world to come up with a list of the best cities in the world. And the list is inspired by travel, like a global snapshot of the city. And also, their food, what it's like to visit there and live there, that sort of stuff. So this year, they were asked about the quality and affordability of food, culture, nightlife, how their city makes them feel, from happiness to romance.
Okay.
And the survey turned out with 15% of survey takers from other cities saying they'd choose New York City to move to.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was happy to read this because I love New York. I go out in New York all the time. We all do, actually. We're always in the city. Growing up in Jersey, New York has always been, a place to go to when you want to have fun and do things. And living in the area has only elevated that for me. I feel like I don't have to travel as much because everything is here. I go to other cities, I get a little bit bored because there's not as much to do,
for
especially
sure.
during
Big
the week.
Time. Big time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What city has that hit you the most in when you visited and you've been like, oh shit, I'm spoiled by New York?
Shit, that's a really good question. I feel like that a lot of places. Maybe when we went to Berlin, I felt that way because I was assuming that Berlin was going to be lit during the week, and we were in the middle of the week, and there was nothing really open.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest city I've been to where I was like, oh damn, what's going on?
Yeah. And Berlin's number 3. So the top 10 is New York City, number 1. Number 2 is Cape Town. Then Berlin. Then we have London, Madrid, Mexico City, Liverpool, Tokyo, Rome, and Porto.
Oh, wow.
So it's a nice, well-rounded, Eurocentric list of cities for sure. I've been to a handful of these places. You know, we're going to go to Mexico City in a couple of months.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to go to 2 of the top 10 in the next few months.
Going to Rome too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Troy, what did you think about New York being number one? And have you been to any of the other cities?
I don't think I've been to any of the other cities, but I mean, New York being number one makes sense. Like, there's just so much to do, and it's just like so big and so vast. So it makes a lot of sense. And when you said, like, you know, going to other cities, New York, you feel so spoiled, because I went to like Atlanta a few years ago, and like everything, even on the weekend, was closed by like 11 o'clock midnight, and I was like, this is insane. Like, we're so spoiled, like living right over here. So I definitely agree with it.
And I was really surprised about that when I went to Atlanta for the first time too.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second.
Right?
I thought Atlanta was lit. That's what everybody said. Everybody was like, ooh, you got to go to Atlanta. It's so fun. And I'm like, where?
They're in bed at midnight. What's so lit about this?
Exactly.
And things move so slow there. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a good scene if you live there and know people, but just to visit, like, it's difficult, especially like during the week on off days. Even if you just want to go get food or something, you know, the workers are so slow. Places are closed at like before it's even dark out. It's just a strange place, but you know, gotta love New York. I'm happy to see it on the list. It's my favorite city in the world. But Gen Z, you know, they're giving Manhattan a new nickname, man. They're calling it Work Island.
Work Island. That's funny.
I do find it funny because, you know, I would say me spending more time in New York was, you know, due to me working in the city or and interning in the city.
Same.
You know, so like I understood it on that point, but I always like it just gave me a reason to stick around and do other things. I grew to love New York from, I wouldn't say just working in the city, but living more in the area.
I would agree. I think the Gen Zers, they're
haters.
Yeah, that's an easy way to put it. You know, there's so much to do in Manhattan. If you only think about work when you go there, then that's probably more about you than it is about the island itself. I mean, other boroughs are cool, but I prefer Manhattan and Brooklyn the most.
Yeah, me too. And I feel like a lot of these TikTokers who were talking about this, they lived in Brooklyn, so they're like, oh, they work in Manhattan, so they're like, oh, I just want to stay in Brooklyn. And I was just out in Brooklyn over the weekend, and I have spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. I like being there too, but I love Manhattan still. You know, I love staying local in Jersey, but Manhattan to me is tops. Like, you know, a lot of places close, but new places open up. You know, I love going to Knicks games, concerts. There's so much to do in Manhattan outside of working. And since I haven't worked in Manhattan since before COVID, like, I still find myself in the city more. So I don't have that, like, direct correlation.
Not only that, like, I feel like the people that are complaining about this being Work Island and they live in Brooklyn, I feel like a lot of them never been past, like, 60th Street. Like, they never go farther up the island to, like, Harlem or any of the other areas on the Upper East or West Side. So it's like, I don't know if you really get the full experience, but
I don't either. I never go uptown.
So I go up there because there's a lot of really good restaurants and stuff up there. So that's where I usually, if I'm going to the city to eat, it's usually around that area.
I'm always downtown. Like, I never go uptown.
Really?
No, it's too much for me. Troy, what did you think about this?
I think I'm usually like downtown as well. I kind of just stay like downtown or like Queens. Sometimes for Mets games, I'll go out there.
Yeah.
Or sometimes Brooklyn too for like a good concert, like a small little venue or something like that. I mean, that's kind of like my bread and butter. But I'm kind of like, I'm not really into the whole food scene. And food in New York is very expensive. And I'm like, you know, I got good stuff right over here. I'm not trying to go out there.
It is, but you know me, man. I like to eat, and I like to eat good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit, everything is expensive in New York. Like, that's one thing. So you gotta make money somehow. But I get people trying to be different. A lot of singles in New York, you know, we talked about speed dating a couple of weeks ago, and people are trying to find new ways to meet people. So there's this new thing, man. It's called reading rhythms.
Reading Rainbow? What?
That's the gay version.
Oh, don't do that. I used to love reading Rainbow. Don't do that.
What's wrong with the gay version? I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying. Listen, reading Rainbow is legendary.
Yeah, I don't know. I never got into reading Rainbow.
Really?
No.
What? Oh my God. What about you, Troy? No reading Rainbow for you?
I wouldn't really watch it that much. I did love to read as a child, and I mean, I still do like to read, but I never really watched Reading Rainbow that much.
What? Man, my man LeVar Burton, he was killing it.
This is reading rhythms, and it's not a book club, okay, but a reading party where about 60 to 80 bookworms from all around the city gather to read in silence and then converse in coordinated intervals as someone plays the piano. Now, you play the piano, you read books. And the founders say books are probably the best icebreaker in the world for really living in mindful conversation. Now, the first reading party was hosted on a friend's rooftop in June with about 10 friends, but the group quickly maxed out their capacity and they knew they were onto something. So the 4 friends, they had the entrepreneurial spirit to get together and monetize this shit, man. Now reading Rhythms now offers 2 to 3 $20 events in a week in Manhattan.
What?
And Brooklyn.
Oh, they're getting a bag.
Bro, and they're sold out until March, bro.
They are getting a crazy bag. Yo, you can make money doing anything.
$20 for 60 to 80 people 3 times a week. That's money. Let's say $1,500 per time. 3 times is $4,500 a week to split between 4 people, and let's just say $4,000 a week between 4 people. You do that. That's an extra $4K a month per person in your pockets, and you're creating love connections between a bunch of nerds.
Dog, that's $200,000 a year.
Oh, that's crazy. And they just started this in June, but 60 to 80 people, that's way more than the speed dating event we talked about. And I don't even think people paid for that. So people are paying for this, When I first saw this, I thought of you because, as I said, you like books, you play the piano. If you were single, would you be into going to Reading Rhythms?
So this reminds me of another time when we talked of the speed dating event where we talked about looking at the pictures to see if we might want to be interested.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm a pass. But I like the idea. I feel like maybe I could go one time.
Okay.
I could go one time. But when I was reading it, the only things I was thinking about are my own reading habits.
Okay.
And I'm a binge reader. Like when I start reading a book, it is hard for me to step away from that book until I've finished it. That's why I typically finish even long books in like 2-3 days. To read for like 10 minutes and then stop so I could talk to people and then listen to music and then read for 10 minutes again, that would fuck up my whole flow.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that would work for me. There's no way. Troy, what are your like reading habits? Would this be something that would work?
Like you said, I think like kind of trying to get into a flow, I'd be distracted by hearing like everybody turn their pages and there's like 80 people around me trying to read and stuff. Yeah. It sounds cool and I'll probably check it out just to see, but I mean, I wouldn't really be there to be reading.
Yeah, the other thing I thought about was like in college when we would go to the library and we really needed to get work done. If I was with a group, I'm not getting anything done. Yep. Like this is chill time, getting drunk in the library until people yell at us to quiet down. Like if I wanted to get something done, I would go up to the 3rd or 4th floor, go find a little nook with a couch, and then crank that paper out.
Yeah.
Other than that, no.
Too many distractions. It wouldn't. I don't think it would work for me. Yeah. But it's interesting.
The place looks dope. I like the way the place looks for sure.
It does look dope, but they look like dopes all just sitting down reading at the bar. Like everyone just reading a book at the bar. It looks so strange. Like that's not. I mean, the piano sounds nice, but it's just like, come on, everyone's just looking at the book. It's a bunch of nerds there. And listen, I like nerds. Nerds are cool. I feel like it's good to be in a relationship with someone who has interests like books. Like I think it's good to want to meet like-minded people, but this would not be for me at all. Like I'd be fake reading and I'd be definitely plotting on who's next. I do think it would be easy competition though. I don't think there'd be a lot of guys out there, I think they're there for the books. And I'm not there for that.
But that's the thing. That's why they might have an advantage in that setting, because if girls are going to this kind of event, they're there for the books too. So like-mindedness, like they can talk about whatever book they're reading, the new James McBride or something like that. I don't know, but I feel like this is for like a select crowd, and somehow they've been able to market this crowd to get however much money they're getting every week.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to them. This is a great idea.
It's
I need to think
impressive.
of my own way to fucking exploit people's loneliness and nerdiness. Like, we need to start our own thing. Like, what do you think would be a good mixer? Like, this is a reading room. Is there any other hobbies that you think, would bring people together that we could start up and make some money?
Man, dang, you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of right now. I know, like there's knitting groups, but that's a specific demo. Like that's the thing with a lot of hobbies. It's a specific demo, or if it's a physical hobby, you have to be in that place to do the physical thing.
I have an idea. I think like having Lego building, or puzzles, puzzle club, bingo. I don't know. Board
boy.
games, tic-tac-toe, Connect 4. There's so many things. Connect 4, connect with new people. I don't know. Troy, do you have any ideas?
You're gonna get the same crowd you got at reading.
I don't know. Man. Twister.
I like the Lego club. I would definitely be a part of that. But I would do like a horror movie club.
Okay.
Turn the lights off, get under a nice blanket, get close to someone special, and then you're in.
Blankets? I don't know. The blankets might get a little crusty. Yeah. I mean, I would say like that's important for me too, because I like horror movies to be with someone who actually enjoys that. Because one time I was out with this girl. Well, I wasn't out. She was over my place, and I was like, let's watch Get Out. She had never seen it, and she was like, oh, I don't like scary movies, but I was like, oh, like this is really good. So let's watch it.
Dang, you forced her to watch it.
I did not force her to do anything. But she did say that afterwards. She was like, you forced me to watch it. I was like, I didn't force you to do anything. You could leave. You have your own free will. Don't use that word. Like, I didn't force you to do shit. You can go home right now. And then she texted me the next day. She's like, oh, I spent money and I rented it. And, I finished it on my own. It was really good. I was like, after you fucking, like, ruined the whole night, crazy ass.
Wait, she ruined the night? She
For
didn't want
me,
to watch the movie?
She started crying, and when they got to the point where he was strapped to the chair,
Oh my God.
she was like, I can't do this anymore, no. And I was just like, for real? Like, and she was serious. She, like, walked away and was, like, emotional. I was like, yo, like, are you okay? And that's when she was like,
Does she have trauma?
I don't know. I think she just wants attention. But I was like, never again. Like, and then to tell me the next day that you spent money to rent it, like, oh, I actually liked it. Like, so you just caused the scene, like, for no reason.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
That didn't last.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, but some relationships do last, even when they're arranged. I was talking about arranged marriages, on my Instagram, and I got some people who had some opinions, who reached out. My one friend said, she'd be down for it. I don't know if I believe her. Someone else said that they know a guy who, like, he didn't have a lot of successful relationships, but he was analyzed by, I guess, the girl's parents and some professionals, and he found this match, and he's happy ever since.
Really?
So this, culturally, I know this is popular in certain cultures. This woman in China looked pretty freaking upset in these wedding photos. The unidentified woman was seen refusing to let the groom hold her hand in the ceremony. In her elaborate wedding gown. Chinese media revealed that the pair had only met a couple times before Tuesday's ceremony. The woman reportedly had no other option but to comply with their local customs. Now, arranged marriages were more popular in China back in the day, but in 1950 they passed the new marriage law, which changed everything, and arranged marriages, were thrown to the wayside after that. But in 2022, China recorded 6.8 million marriage registration, the lowest since the data began being released in 1986, CNN reported.
Wow.
And also the average age in China for tying the knot for the first time was 28 24.67 years old in 2020, up from 24.89 years the prior decade. So
4-year jump.
Yeah. So do you think that arranged marriages could make a comeback? And how do you feel about seeing this woman crying? Because I saw the pictures and I'm like, damn, I'd be really upset if I had to be forced to marry someone I just met.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for her, but if their family still follows that custom, I would be very surprised if this is like news to her. I know in Asia they do it, and when I say Asia, I'm not just talking about countries like China, like India does it too. But I don't know if that would work for me.
For which
arranged marriage?
Yeah.
And she crying? Nah.
Yeah.
We ain't even get started yet, and you already crying? Like, what you got to be sad for?
Yeah, if someone's bawling like uncontrollably, even if we agreed to get married, even if it wasn't arranged, like I'm like, I don't think we should do this. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel bad for her though, but that's the way they used to do things.
Yeah.
Now, before it was like for reasons of status and gaining power and stability for the family and longevity and things like that. Obviously, I don't know what the purpose is now. Maybe it's still for the same things, but we just don't know the whole story. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would never do this type of thing, and I don't know how someone goes through with it after someone's like bawling and just so upset. It kind of ruins everything. But I don't know if this will become more popular. I think people are becoming more open in their relationships. I mean, culturally, it's more popular in certain countries, and even in those countries, it's not as popular as it used to be. So I don't know. I did find this to be pretty sad, but let us know, guys. Would you be open to an arranged marriage? Like, do you think that that's a good solution? Because I mean, a lot of people like are deciding who they want to be with off of like dating apps, and it's arranged by the algorithm at a certain point. But
True.
I don't know.
And the other side of the spectrum, maybe like a lesser version of arranged marriages, is people that maybe they only marry within their race, or they only marry people who follow the same religion as them, like things like that. That narrows down your pool a lot.
Yeah.
It really does. So, something to think about. But that's tough.
Yeah, let us know, guys. Would you be open to that? I wouldn't. Hell no. I don't even think I'm open to regular marriage, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. No, maybe.
TBD on that. TBD.
One day it'll happen. We'll see. But, yeah. Shit, there's so many other things, man. Like, we got to talk about this woman who, we get the best stories from Australia, and they're like radio shows. Because this one Australian woman, she talked about a threesome she had with a couple, and they broke up right in front of her while she was naked.
That's so crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah. So on this show, what is this? Triple J's The Hookup program. In Australia. So she explains the story. She was like, so we went to like a dating event and had met these two lovely, sexy humans. And we had made out, and she said I had been invited to their home.
Yep.
And then we were having some fun back at their place, and then they got upset with one another and proceeded to break up while I was sitting in between them. And she's like, oh, guys, she was like, she tried to become the mediator between them. She tried to help them out. But the girl ended up going off on her boyfriend again, and it just didn't end well at all, man. This is a threesome gone wrong.
Did not end well. And even crazier than this is that one of the co-hosts, they asked her, I'm just picturing all three of you naked in the bed, like and you're just having this argument, and the woman was like, oh no, they were clothed. And they were like, wait, but you were naked? And she was just sitting there naked looking at them like, should I put my bra back on? Or
damn, she was ready for it. That is crazy. Damn, I don't know, how would you feel if someone brought you back and the couple started fighting?
Dog, that's nuts. I would probably leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, listen, I don't think the the mood is right for this right now. So I'm gonna get my stuff and I'm gonna roll out. But I wish y'all the best.
Yeah, I would definitely leave. There's no way I'm trying to get in between them or hear them or understand. First of all, the mood is already killed.
Yeah.
Like, you met at like a sex party or a dating event. Whatever
Time has transpired. Like, you took a car, Ubered, somebody drove. Like, you went from point A to point B, and B is the bed. And she's already got no clothes on. Like,
bro, it's crazy. Like, you go somewhere for fun and you end up in their drama. No way. Do you think a lot of threesomes end this way, or at least a small percentage? Because I always think about that. You know, if something happens, you would assume that these people are pretty experienced since they're already like at a party like this. But
yeah.
I think that this is a little bit more common than what we know.
It's nuts. It's nuts. People, listen. You got to make sure you're ready for those little menages and stuff. Like, you better make sure both parties are on board. Y'all don't have no resentful feelings that you, like, with the shits. She's not going to be telling you don't stroke her like that. Like, all that kind of stuff. You got to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, it was a funny story, and I was like, damn, I'm sure this happens a lot more often. Because people only tell you the fun side of their stories. They don't tell you when the threesome goes wrong and people start fighting and shit.
Never.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's so annoying to be around a couple who's fighting. Like, it's no fun at all. Like, no one wants to see that. Like, I feel like in a situation like this, they probably had some beef before the party, and they probably said, fuck it, you know what, we're going to put it behind us. We're going to go, we're going to have fun, and we're going to bring someone home. And obviously it was unresolved, and yeah, it got put onto this naked woman.
I just don't understand. Like, what could have possibly come up in conversation? Because if this chick is already naked, something must have been happening sexually.
Yeah.
Unless she just walked in the house and started taking off clothes, which I doubt. But I can't even fathom where the conversation had to have gone.
Yeah, I wish we had those details. Like, I was wondering, like, what were they arguing about? What was the problem?
Yeah,
like, what happened?
All she said is that, like, the woman said something fucked up to the guy, and he was like, I don't have to put up with this. I'm leaving. I'm going to go. and she was like, great, so I can talk to this really hot chick while you're not here.
Damn.
And then he was like, listen, it's over.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like the opposite of sexy.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know whose house you're going to. So you got to be careful out there.
Australia, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. This one girl had a date on the way to pick her up from her house. And she ended up canceling on homeboy because he said something a little bit out of pocket. Oh, man.
You got the audio for this one?
Yeah, let me see if I can grab that because I know the TikTok's pretty long. It's like, what, like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
But yes, he had texted her something that wasn't super friendly. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Yeah, the woman's name is Ucha Saha, and she was explaining why she canceled on her date.
Is that what's happening?
Oh, shit.
She's like, I'm in shock. I need to tell people what just happened.
I'm in shock, and I need to tell
Thank you.
people about what just happened. So, I've dressed to get dinner tonight, and this man is on his way, and he's booked dinner, and he's coming to pick me up, and he texts me as I'm getting ready, like half an hour before, and he goes, I kid you not, word for word, all right, you shallow bitch. Don't judge my car. I've had it since I was 18 and no one has a car in London. This is our second time meeting, and he is a over 30-year-old plus man, has a normal career, and we barely have a friendly relationship. You know, It's only our second time getting dinner together. And I was just like, what? Like, I barely call my friends cuss words. And if we ever do playfully call each other bitch, it's very, very, very few friends in person. And it's like people that I'm very close with.
So she canceled the date. She said, screw this. You know, I'm not comfortable. Like, this is their second date, man. What do you think about this? Like, people be out of pocket with their words, because if someone were to text me some shit like that, like, there's no way I'm going out with them either.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of left field. And like she said, she has no relationship with this guy. Like this is literally their second time going out. And he's called just randomly out of the blue. You shallow bitch. Like what?
Yeah, she said he apologized. You know, he showed up. She said, I'm not moving forward with the date. He texted her like 10 minutes after he had left and apologized. But then you ruined it.
Well, he also told her at the door, like, oh, this is rude. Like, and then he called her to complain and that was it. But I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
But you can't fuck up in the interviews.
Yeah.
You can't fuck up in the interviews. You can't do it.
Like, you going out of your way to pick someone up. Like, why even do that? Like, why even play around at that point? Like, for me, it's always important to make sure someone's comfortable, especially if we're just getting to know each other. You're coming into my car. Like, you have to trust someone to come into their house or their car, especially as a woman. Like, we talk about that because we talk about sketchy ass dates and worse situations. So she did the smart thing about not getting into the car or continuing seeing this guy. And I just want to say, girl, I would never treat you this way. Like, hit me up. Like, if you want to be treated right, just let me know. I don't know if she's really in London like that because she's obviously American. So if you're ever in the New York
look
City
at you
area,
speculating.
let me know.
I don't know if she really be in London. Maybe she's actually in the U.S.
I would treat you right, girl. Let me know. I'm a pure gentleman. We can go out sometime. My car is way nicer than his. It's not super nice, but it's not like from when I was in high school. But
no, it's
people
not.
don't have cars.
What'd you have? The Trailblazer in high school?
Oh yeah, you remember? You know, had the
red
95
red Trailblazer.
Yeah, that shit was popping at the time, but
It was.
not anymore. And I would never call no one a bitch because I felt insecure about my car. Like, that's lame projection, and that's just not sexy.
It sucks for him, but it's a learning lesson. I mean,
yeah,
I don't call any of the women that I've been with a bitch. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't call anyone really a bitch unless I'm trying to like insult them. Like I would say like I've had relationships where like I would say it like rhetorically, like, oh, someone does something, oh, this bitch, but like only because they started to say it. Like my ex would say that like as me saying it. You know, she's like, you're probably like, oh, this bitch. So then like going off of that, I would actually do that. But it was within the context.
Oh, you can't take the bait. You can't take the bait.
It wasn't a problem. It was always like within a joke in person. Never like, oh, calling someone a bitch like via text. That's different. But I don't really use bitch. Oh, I do use bitch a lot, but not in a playful type of way. In person, I don't. But I do call people bitches.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he lost it. He fumbled the bag.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, damn.
Shout out.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
That had to be such a fucking awkward conversation. Dude pulls up thinking everything's good. 10 minutes after sending that text, and she's like, so, and she's dressed and ready to go, and she's like, yeah, I'm not going with you. You called me a shallow bitch. He was probably like, "Are you I was joking. What do you mean?"
Yeah, I mean,
Too late.
I mean, I've said things on dates that, I mean, I'm just being myself, like trying to be funny. Like I was out with this girl and she told me her birthday was on 4/20, and I was like, "Oh, that's Hitler's birthday," and she's like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I just know." It wasn't anything bad. It was just like, oh, just information, you know. But I was like, you know, afterwards.
Well, at least she knew. Imagine if she had that birthday and didn't know. She would be like,
of course she knows. If you have Hitler's birthday, you have to find out at some point. Like
probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, 4/20 is Hitler's birthday.
I never knew that until you just said that right now.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, just like Hitler. She was like,
and look at all of us excited about 4/20 coming up and shit. That's terrible.
I wasn't celebrating Hitler or calling her Hitler, but
I think it's on a Saturday this year, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shout out. But yeah, I did pick this one zodiac thing because it had both of your signs on it about the relationships, and I was just wondering because the
codependent one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They said 4 zodiac signs who become too codependent in a relationships, and not only do they have your signs,
and my girl's sign is on there.
Exactly.
That's toxic.
You know, you're both with Cancers. So I was reading this, and I was just wondering if you guys agreed with what they said about you.
Oh, man. All right, so let me see here. I'll start with Libra. Rulers of the 7th house of partnership. The shadow side of Libra measures self-worth by relationship status. I disagree with that. A serious part of this sign wants to ride someone else's train and heal someone else's pain to avoid addressing their own. I'm not going to read the rest, but long story short, I don't agree with mine. I'm not trying to heal anybody. I'm not. But let me take a look at the Cancer one. Troy, you want to do yours?
It also says for Libras, it says born people pleasers. Libras learn early how to manipulate others based on their ability to recognize and leverage needs. They being shady a little bit.
I feel like they put that on Libras a lot. I've seen that in other ones that we've talked about
Really?
the people pleaser thing. I think there's some credibility to that, especially around the manipulation of like people's needs and things like that. But
yeah, they got Pisces on here too, Troy.
They do. They got me. They got old me. This is me in high school, not me as a 30-plus-year-old man.
I like that accent you threw on there real quick.
But I'll just read a paragraph. So it says, chronically empathetic Pisces are the great apologists of the zodiac, able to excuse, deny the addictions, tendencies, and general trash behavior of their beloved, mutable to a fault. Pisces folks are ever ready to transmogrify. I've never seen that word, Jesus. Themselves into whatever shape / savior their partner / trauma pal may need. And this was me way back in the day, like 15 years ago.
Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah.
Transmogrify means transform in a surprising or magical manner.
Wow, you're like a wizard.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
But yeah, it's only 4 signs out of the 12. And yeah, what about the Cancer side?
Oh, for the Cancer side, what have we got here? Cancers represent the archetype of the mother, nurturing and tending and ever keeping a proverbial tit in the mouth of their dependents. While
That's true.
Listen. Those things happen behind closed doors. While we are all born dependent on our primary caretakers, some Cancers project this attention need onto adult relationships, participating in a mother dynamic. These sensitive creatures are especially susceptible to the codetype of sacrifice and resentment, avoiding themselves by putting the well-being of others ahead of their own. I could tell you Nat is not like that. Again, with the zodiac stuff, I feel like sometimes it lines up, other times not so much.
They also say, they compare Cancers as an example. They say sledgehammer swinging superfan Kathy Bates in Misery, classic codependent Cancer. Troy, you love horror movies.
You do, yeah. If I comment on this, I might come in with like broken ankles. So I'm not saying anything.
I don't even know this movie. Is it something I should watch?
Misery,
yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, come on, it's based on Stephen King novel.
Dude, I'm not a. You said this is a horror movie. I don't do the horror stuff.
Watch Misery, it's good.
I've only started watching horror movies in the last handful of years,
really?
And that's because Natalie likes them.
Wow.
I don't.
Codependent.
This was
not what that means.
Point proven.
No, listen.
I only started watching it because of that. I don't know.
I mean, I think you got to make some adjustments in the relationship,
of course.
But for me, it's like horror movies give me crazy dreams. That's why I don't watch them.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Still, yeah, I don't know. Try it out though.
I don't get scared in the movie, but then afterwards,
the
it's
nightmares.
like, the nightmare that comes from it is like.
Misery's not that type of movie. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. After reading this, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've dated these signs before, and I would say I can feel that they also have Virgo on the list too. But I've definitely had some intense moments. I never felt super codependent when I was dating these people, but I can kind of get the gist of it. I don't know, man. The girl who was crying at Get Out was a Cancer.
I mean, listen, who knows? Maybe when Nat finally has a kid, she'll act like a mom. But I mean, then she has a kid, so she's supposed to act like a mom. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Valentine's Day is coming up, guys. You know, and also Black History Month starts in a couple of hours. So February, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I know we're gonna not be on February 14th, so maybe we can get some Valentine's Day topics for next week, and talk to you guys about Valentine's. I did see one article that said like the spending limit for a date or a gift on Valentine's Day, so we can talk about that and expectations, because I feel like the longer you're with someone, I mean, it could go either way. You could feel like, oh, I need the top last year, or it could be like, we've done this enough, let's chill. So we'll see people's different strategies. Let us know in the DMs if you guys have Valentine's plans, or even Galentine's plans if you're a loser. No, I was kidding. Yeah. only girls do that.
I know. Natalie, she was like, oh, I think I want to do a Galentine's. I'm like, you go right ahead.
Isn't Galentine's supposed to be for single people, or?
I think she got mad single friends.
Oh, damn.
She's trying to make them feel better.
That's
so she
nice.
Can wave her ring around in their face. I was like, that's fucked up. You ain't right. You ain't right.
That's true. You can't show up to Galentine's with a fucking big ass engagement ring.
I tried to tell her, but what do I know?
Leave the ring at home. But no, I'm sorry. I should have said they're losers, because I probably won't have a fucking Valentine either. But I'm not going to. Maybe I should. Maybe I should go to a Galentine's. Invite me to your Galentine's Day party. I'll go. I will go. I take it all back. I be talking myself.
Would you do a first? Maybe we should save this for next week.
What?
I was going to ask, would you do a first date on Valentine's?
Oh, man. Stay tuned.
All this and more next week.
Hell yes. Don't forget to like our video, share it, subscribe, DM us, continue the conversation with us in the comments. We're always looking to hear from you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone for joining today to end January really strong, like the Knicks. I feel like we started off the year pretty strong this year with the live. We're looking to collaborate and get out there. So thanks everyone for joining.
What do you got planned for this weekend?
This weekend? I'm not sure yet, honestly. I'll probably be out and about, but I don't really know yet. What about you? Anything specific?
Friday, trying to catch a restaurant before restaurant week closes.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's been
in the
going
city?
for like in the city.
Nice.
But other than that, probably chilling this weekend.
And football.
Got to start planning.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a busy spring. Very busy spring.
Troy, you got any big plans this weekend?
Not really. I think I might go down to the shore, visit some family for the day. Probably Saturday, then probably just lay low.
No Rami Youssef tickets?
I didn't hear back. No, I'm waiting. I think tomorrow I may find out about Saturday night, but I haven't heard back, so unfortunately not yet.
I just remembered about it today. I was like, oh, they said the 31st, so I guess not. But it's all good. You win some, you lose some.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely want to go to a comedy show soon too. I always love going to comedy shows. I was thinking about going to City Winery a couple days ago. They had like a handful of comics there. Also at Georgia Room, they had like a comic night on Monday too.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of good events. I definitely want to check that out soon. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll be back next week, guys. Thanks for joining today. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
No doubt.
Peace.